Welcome to the Evolving Women podcast, where growth, healing, and empowerment aren't just ideas, they're a way of being. I'm Teresa Lysam, and in each episode, I'm joined by an extraordinary woman, one who is boldly shining her light in the world, one who is bringing her real life experience to each and every episode. And you'll be meeting my guest co host for today here shortly. She brings her heart centered wisdom and her powerful story to remind us all that we are not alone on this journey. This space is your permission to evolve, to expand, and to fully embody your most radiant, authentic self. So let's evolve together. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lysam, and I'm here today with my amazing guest co host, Mary Elaine Petrucci. Hi, Mary Elaine. How are you?
Hi, Teresa. I'm fine. I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
Oh, and I'm thrilled that you're here. But I want to start with a loss. Everyone has suffered some kind of a loss in their lifetime. It could be a small one, it could be a big one, it could be any place on that spectrum, but that's just a part of living this life is experiencing some kind of loss. Now, what you do with that loss is the big thing. Like, how do you transform that? How do you create something beautiful from that loss? So, Mary Elaine, I know you have a lot you could say about that. So, I'm going to turn it over to you so we can glean some wisdom from your experiences.
Thank you, Teresa. Well, my loss really started before I was even born. My grandparents were miners in southern Colorado, and they went on strike and um, moved into a tent colony during one of the coldest winters on record in
Mm,
Colorado. Um, my grandparents' oldest child became sick, and at the end of February, beginning of March of 1914, and my grandmother was denied access to take a train 14 miles to get medical care for her child, and he died. And then on Greek Easter, on April 22nd of 1914, my grandparents ended up in a massacre with the Colorado militia that was sent in to the strike field
mm,
without um, establishing martial law. The Bring security was down there, and who knows who else. We don't know who started it
wow.
or fired the first shot. However, my grandmother and her three remaining children were in a pit with other women and children. And my grandmother and another woman, Elder Rita Pedregon, were the only two that walked out of that pit alive.
Mm, mm,
My grandmother had the wherewithal to go on a speaking tour with Mother Jones, two other women from Ludlow, and a judge from Denver. And they went on the speaking tour to Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. So I have my grandmother's testimony before the Senate. Um, So that legacy I learned when I was 9 years old, and it just seemed so incredible that I wanted to somehow honor the miners and their
mhm,
families who went on strike, um, because they did stand up to the governor of Colorado, John D. Rockefeller,
mm,
Ring Security, and Mackenzie King of Canada. And they just wanted to be heard. They were
mhm.
mostly all immigrants, and they came here for the American dream,
Yeah.
and they weren't receiving that dream or getting closer to their dream, living in this kind of utopia that Redford thought would make families happy and joyful. Um, so, and then when I was 16, my brother, who was 15 at the time, passed away unexpectedly. And then I began to really feel alone and isolated and not knowing, just feeling like a large hole inside myself, and I didn't know how to fill it. And in my mid 30s, I lost a really good friend unexpectedly. And that just seemed to really impact my work and what I wanted to do to help people as a speech language pathologist. So it wasn't until I really discovered neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis that I was able to really get to the core issues that were keeping me stuck in my life and not moving forward with my goals and my dreams. And because of that, I feel so passionate about helping other women, professional women who want to rise from the ashes of a significant life event, whether it's a loss of a loved one, a loss of a job or a career, or a health crisis, and help guide them to transform their life so they can live with purpose, meaning, and legacy.
Mm, wow. Wow. Um, Whew, there's a lot in there. I applaud you, even as a young child, wanting to honor those minors that were just trying to voice their concerns and create a better life and, get what they deserved and
Mhm.
wanted for their families. And then they were just cut down and squelched
Mhm.
because of those in control, which still seems to be repeating that pattern even to this day.
Well, that's true. I guess I want to honor their legacy because of they knew on some level what the strike was going to cost them,
Mm,
and they did it anyway.
mhm,
Um, they felt that, yes, they wanted to be able to be earning money for all the work that they were doing,
mhm, mhm,
including like the dead work where they were blowing the mine up and putting up timber, uh,
mhm.
and just being paid in money, not in script. So, and they wanted an 8-hour workday, which was really on the books in
Oh.
Colorado state law. So, they had simple demands that made a lot of sense.
Mhm,
Um, and they needed a voice. And my grandmother did give voice to them by going on the speaking tour.
mhm,
However, she tended to block that whole experience out when she was older. So it was now, I guess, my opportunity to step up and continue and give
mhm,
them voice for what they truly wanted. I think
mhm,
everyone wants to be heard, to be seen, to be
mhm.
taken for who they are and what they want to realize in their lives. So it's important for me now to help other women get, achieve that voice that they may have lost while climbing the corporate ladder. Um, and, just help them really connect to who they really are meant to be and their mission in life so that they can fulfill it.
Wow. Um, yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned loss of jobs, it doesn't have to be a loss of a loved one, as you talked about, but there's all these other types of losses, loss
Mhm.
of identity, loss of health, and try to come up from that. Yes, so there's all these other versions of loss. And we have to deal with them in whatever way with whatever tools we know, which we're not always taught those tools. We're not given those tools growing up. So many of us have
Mhm.
to figure it out on our own. And it sounds like you're someone that doesn't want to have other people, other women figure it out on their own.
No, I think that if you can get to really the core of like your limiting beliefs or who is kind of squelching you in being who you want to be, if we can do that at a quicker pace,
Mm-hmm.
more intense pace, is much better than not disparaging any other forms of mental health services by any means, but you can get to the core much quicker with neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis. So it really helped me heal from the inside out. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where women really need to start healing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Um, and I don't know if everybody watching or listening knows or has heard of NLP. Can you speak a little bit about that, please?
Sure. NLP is really the excellence of communication. So you really look at how you're communicating, um, look at different ways that you can shift some of your thinking so that it's more positive and that you can really be open and to all those opportunities that you're looking for because you're open to them. And you go through this process a little easier every time you do have a loss or a setback because now you are taught the skills. I give you the skills to overcome any other obstacle that you may be finding in your life at any particular point. So it really, neurolinguistic programming also looks at your values, what strategies that you're using that no longer serve you. It looks at how you can really be open to change more easily and be able to communicate your truth much more effectively. So I,
Mm, love that. Just jotting all this down. Thank you so much. And I've never heard NLP referred to as the excellence of communication. Man, we all need that in our back pocket.
yes, we do. Because you have to look at, all those nuances, facial expressions, just like
Mm-hmm.
that nonverbal communication that we do, so that you can really tailor your message more effectively by
Mm,
really honoring where the other person is in your communication effort. So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, and communication, I mean, our whole life, every day, it's just a form of communication with anything and everybody and on
Mhm.
all different levels, on levels we're not even conscious about. As you said, like picking up visual cues and, those underlying, that energetic cues that we don't even realize we're picking up on or mirroring back or whatever.
Mhm. That's true. And by looking at all of those nonverbal cues, you're able to really adjust your communication. So, for example, if we're having a talking together, Teresa, for instance, I may say, "What is your opinion of XYZ?" And you say, "Well, I see that XYZ could impact this particular situation." So you use the words "I see." So now I'm going to communicate back to you
Mm,
using your visual modality. Because then
hmm
now we're going to be able to connect much better and have that rapport that we need so that we can, you know, work together more effectively.
hmm
You've got to listen for those cues.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. If the world had better skills, if the people of the world had these improved communication skills, even a little bit more, the world would be a whole lot better place, I think.
I would definitely agree with that. I think we're not communicating effectively
Yeah, for
in
sure.
our interactions with other people so that we can make them more positive
Yeah, yeah.
and more joyful.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I've been guilty of that. I'm still guilty of that, even though I've learned so much more, over my life. It's still, I don't think we ever achieve perfection in that regard at all. So it's an ongoing practice for sure.
Well, I think you get better at it the more you
Mm-hmm.
practice it with every interaction that you have with another person, so that you can have more effective, positive interactions with other people.
Mm-hmm. So this is something you help women with so that they can use a tool such as NLP for themselves and in their own personal communications with the world in general.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Um, we usually start with a very comprehensive assessment of where they're at and what's really holding them back and why they're stuck. And then we use different techniques, NLP techniques, and strategies. We use hypnosis, timeline therapy to really get to the core of what the issues are so that you can allow your unconscious mind to really give you the tools within yourself to help you achieve what you truly want to achieve.
I love that you said that. Are use the tools that are within us.
Mhm.
Because I think we think or expect or want everything to come from outside of us to fix things, to make things better, to make us happy, to forgetting that it all starts within and comes from within.
Oh, totally. Your unconscious mind is running your life
For
95% of your
sure.
day, every day. So if you can tap into it and use it more effectively every day, so that you can get to your goals faster and more effectively, then yes, you're right. People can really do astronomical things if they just would tap into their unconscious mind. Who know
Mm,
who knows exactly, how to get what you want.
yeah, when I first heard that percentage, what is it? It's huge. The I'm going to say 90%. It's probably higher than that. Of the time, yes, your subconscious mind is running your life and running your thinking and running your behaviors. And I mean, that is mind blowing.
It is. And if you add it to, well, so if you look at it this way, like the conscious mind is the goal getter. The unconscious mind is the goal setter. So,
Mm. Yes, I think I've heard something along that before.
and it may be the other way around. It's just,
Yeah, so if we can really learn to work with that unconscious portion, which is in control 90 some percent of the time, yeah, then things could really change and change rapidly, I'm sure.
yes, it becomes the goal getter. You have your
Hmm.
conscious mind that only kind of runs your life for, is only in control of 5% of your day every day. So
And
give
we
your
think,
unconscious mind a goal, and then your unconscious mind will go and get it for you.
hmm and we think our mind is in control. Our like, awareness mind, our day-to-day mind. And man, are we wrong about that?
Well, we are. Someone just brought this example up, and it's a very good one. So I know, have you ever been driving and arrived at your destination and then wondered how you got there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've lived on the other side of the country my entire life, moved to this side of the country 4 years ago or thereabouts. And when I went back to where I grew up or where I lived for 35 years, I was driving and yes, I unconsciously went to my old house with not even thinking about it. Like it was just a pattern and a habit that I had established for so long. Like I went down the road like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't where I'm going, but my body, my subconsciousness took me there
Hmm.
because I wasn't thinking. It was so yeah, that's I don't know how to think about that. Is that scary or what?
Well, yes, you're like in trance
Yeah,
95% of your
exactly.
day, every day. So if you can program your unconscious mind with very powerful suggestions and can do that many times during the day, once you learn the technique, then you have that at your disposal.
Hmm.
So you can change any situation in, a short period of time.
So you also use hypnosis. You just kind of referenced that. But it sounds like you give women the tools for themselves so they can use them far into the future. Am I
Yeah.
correct there?
Yes. They do learn some techniques during that assessment period. Yes, that they can use in other situations.
Okay. And hypnosis. So you told us a little bit about NLP, a little bit about hypnosis, if you would, please, because we all have this, you know, Hollywood view of it. But I'd love for you to just clarify that for us, please.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to really dispel the myth that hypnosis is mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a founder of hypnosis found that he was doing the MK Ultra project with the US government. And in order to really have mind control over someone, you need to have separate them from the environment that they're used to being in. They have to have some chemical um, reaction. What I mean by that is that really they need to have some injection of some
Okay. Yeah.
medication that
Mm-hmm.
will change their whole nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be rewarded for doing something that you want them to do and punished if they don't do what they're asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
So hypnosis can't do that alone because it's like me asking you, Teresa, to go out and rob a bank. Your unconscious mind wouldn't allow you to do that or even consider it for that
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I can provide powerful suggestions and say it in 3 different ways, and that will really stimulate your unconscious mind to come up with the solutions that you need to solve that problem, or at least give you an indication of who or what you will need in order to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
it's a matter of suggestions that you're doing during this. I'm going to call it hypno session. So this hypnosis session.
Hmm.
And there's also something like self-hypnosis. So what's the difference between you helping me with my suggestions or me doing it for myself?
That's a great question. I do have a 2 half-day self-hypnosis workshop so that you learn the technique so that you can use it more effectively with yourself. So you don't really need me to really be there. And you can use it anytime during the day that you need to, refocus yourself.
Love
And
that.
so that you stay on track in order to meet your goal.
I love that. To help you refocus.
Yeah. We just, we scroll on social media.
Oh yeah.
We we get distracted by things in our environment.
Oh yeah.
things that we hear, maybe if you're working in an office. So, yeah, you just get your attention pulled away in so many different directions. And it takes about 15, 20 minutes for you to really refocus on what you were focusing on before you had that interruption. So, it's better to have or learn that technique in a workshop, half-day workshop, so that you can have that skill to use at your disposal.
Love that. Um, yeah, like our society is so distracting. I mean, it has gotten so much worse over the years with
Mhm.
for all kinds of reasons. And whew, yeah, just to be able to have some kind of tool to bring you back in a
Mm,
very short
yeah.
period of time so you can come back to where you were, where what you were trying to do to begin with before your brain went off in all these multiple directions. That would be powerful. That'd be a very useful tool for sure.
Well, definitely, because it really gives you kind of like the history of hypnosis, what it is and what it's not. It goes through the different levels of trance, and yeah, it allows you to develop a SMART goal that you can say in 3 different ways, say the same goal in 3 different ways, so that you can allow your unconscious mind to find those resources within yourself.
Mm. You're working with your subconscious mind
Yes.
to put it to work for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, in a positive way instead of it moving you in a default direction that's not serving you in any way. I do want to just really quickly go back to that word trance that you said, because again, some people might have this weird, a thought around that word and what that means. So, can you just quickly define that for anybody who is a little bit skeptical or turned off by that word?
Okay. Um, well, trance to me is that you're doing something unconsciously. So, like I had mentioned about driving somewhere and wondering how arrived at your
Mm,
destination.
yeah.
You're in this trance. Um, Nobody's controlling you. You're kind of in autopilot and you're going
Hmm.
somewhere or doing something that you weren't really expecting to do, or you found yourself ready to arrive at your destination, or like if you're cooking, that you may have picked up an ingredient that you knew that went in that recipe.
Hmm.
You weren't really consciously thinking of it. It's just a rote kind of habit.
Yeah. Thank you for kind of just unpacking that just a little bit more. But we're in trance states all day long,
We are.
and they're just not serving us. Whereas you're giving us the tools to purposefully and intentionally go into a positive, forward moving trance that is going to give us something a little bit more worthwhile, right? So we're just taking those default moments of trance that we're in all the time, like the car, like I said, I was
Mhm.
driving to my previous house without even thinking about it. You're giving the tools to be more purposeful with
Mhm.
those trance-like states.
That was well said. Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, as you were
Yeah,
saying that, like, oh my gosh, that would be a powerful tool.
well,
Yeah.
definitely, because it makes you be more focused, more intentional, more purposeful, because you're using your unconscious mind in a way that you will be able to achieve what you desire. So
Yeah. And
put your
thank you.
unconscious mind to work.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we may have kind of gone back around that again, but I just just that word could be a little scary to some people, but
Mhm.
we're already doing it to ourselves.
Yes,
So
that's
there's
a
really
good
nothing scary
point.
about it. It's just,
It just is. It's
it
what you
just
do every
is.
day.
It's just not thinking. Mindlessness. I've heard that word a couple of times in the last day or two. Being mindful as opposed to being mindless.
I love that definition. Yes.
Hmm.
Let's be more mindful. Use your
Hmm.
conscious mind to help you be achieve the goals, the resources that you need so that you can get to your goal quicker.
Yeah, and it
The life you
sounds,
want.
I mean, it sounds so simple. Like, why can't we do this on our own? You know, like be more mindful, be more present in this moment, be less defaulting to something because we're just not thinking and we're driving driving somewhere. You know, like it sounds so simple that we should be able to do this in a more intentional, effective, mindful way, but we don't.
We don't, because I think right now with all this noise from social media, um, and just instant gratification,
Hmm.
I think our attention span right now is something like 3 to 7 seconds,
Yeah, really. Yeah.
which, somebody said that it's shorter than that of a goldfish.
Yes, I've heard that too.
So
That's so
yeah,
sad.
it's really, it is. It's really scary that we are so mindless with what we do every day. I mean, all you have to do is check like your activity on your cell phone about how much time you spend
Mm,
scrolling or going down some rabbit hole that takes you, I don't know, a couple minutes to an hour
hmm.
that you weren't really expecting. So
Right.
it's a challenge for me
It's a
sometimes to
challenge.
even stay centered and to be focused. And I do my best to, when I work with a client, to really stay focused on them because it's really them that is important in that
Hmm.
particular moment. And what we have to do to, what I have to do to guide them to the down that road
Hmm.
so that they can do those techniques on their own and to really stop and think about what they really want in life, who they really want to be, and then set a trajectory to do that.
Hmm. And I'm glad you said that because even those of us that have these tools have learned certain things over time are still practicing and doing it, trying to do our best on our own. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we may, it may come across to other people like, oh, she got these tools. She knows NLP. She does this self, like she must be all that and she's got it all together and her life must be perfect. No, that's not how it works. I mean, we have tools and
Mhm.
maybe more than somebody else, but it's still a practice and it's still something that we have to show up for ourselves doing and being. And so I'm so glad you said that because you're showing that you still have to put in the work and do the effort and use your own tools
Mhm.
to in your
Well,
own personal life.
well, I do because often catch myself not showing up for the person in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
or and then I go, whoa, okay,
Yep.
let me get
Yep.
recentered. So because I know where my focus needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have to practice techniques
Yeah.
on a daily basis so that I show up more effectively
Mm-hmm.
more authentically, more intentionally.
Yeah. And I, again, I've heard this in the last couple of days, and everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants to be heard, which is what those miners were doing
Exactly.
back at the beginning of that century. They were just wanted to be visible. They wanted their needs and their concerns to be looked at and addressed. Maybe they would have not gotten anything, but they at least wanted their voices to be heard. So that is just so beautiful that you've brought that forward and you're helping women in particular, right?
Mhm.
Women is your focus to be seen and heard because we all want that in
Right.
some form or fashion.
Exactly. And even with my work as a speech language pathologist, I was giving voice to people that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How cool.
who needed to communicate their
Hmm.
basic wants and needs. So it's yeah, just having that voice is so
Mm,
critical. That's our identity in a way. So we need to
mm,
be heard. We need to be able to stand up and tell people who you are, what you need,
mm-hmm.
and establish those boundaries so that you can enjoy your life. And
Love that. And me being on the other end of that, giving you the time and the attention from me so that I am acknowledging you as a person and you and your voice. I mean, it's a two-way street, and we're both putting effort into this communication right now.
we are. And thank you for having me on your podcast because I'm able to get my message out by the questions that you ask.
Oh, thank you. This is,
So that is so meaningful to me. May I briefly share? Um, uh, I was contacted by the founder of a social justice theater troupe
hmm,
in, I think, January, February of 2022. We don't know how he got my information, contact information. So I thought I was going on a Zoom just to meet him and the other members of the troupe, and I was just going to give him some information about grandma.
yeah.
No, I actually played grandma. And yeah, we started out the play with these high school students in a very wealthy district here in Colorado who new school board fired the superintendent illegally.
Oh
So we
boy.
actually put this classroom in that school district just because it was making another message and voice to this situation happening in that school district. So the teacher is being observed by the superintendent, and he dismisses her because she's not teaching the school district's curriculum. So one of the students said that the teacher would allow her to write about the King Soopers grocery store strike because her mother worked at King Soopers.
Okay.
And then another student said, well, what about Ludlow, where Rockefeller killed women and children? And the superintendent said, that was no big thing. I want you all to write about the barons of industry like Rockefeller and Tabor and all of these people. So they fall asleep. I walk in and I wake them up and I said, you want to learn about Ludlow? Let me explain to you what
Mm,
that is. So we were practicing in a college classroom. So I would take them around the classroom, and then on the other side of the room, I would say, well, this is the pit where all the women and
mm,
children were. And we had a picture of the pit and the Arlo Guthrie song playing as we were walking around. And while the students kind of freeze thinking about the Ludlow Massacre, I walk to the middle of the stage and say, I'm Mary Elaine Petrucci. I just portrayed my grandmother, Mary Petrucci,
Mm, mm,
and how
wow.
she and Alderita Pedregon were the only two that walked out of that pit dazed, confused, and alive.
Oh, yeah.
So the ironic part was we had no idea where we were going to put on the first play. So we had it at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 68.
Mm,
The union my father belonged to for 65 years. And dinner was supplied by the United Mine Workers of America.
wow.
And I'm like, okay,
Mm, mm.
quite serendipitous.
Oh, for sure. For
I'm
sure.
like, I wasn't expecting anything like that.
Mm.
So it was amazing playing my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
It was,
Ooh, full circle for sure. A
oh
divine,
yeah.
yes, divine synchronicities there. Oh, wow. I got chills while you were talking about that. Wow. What an honor to be able to be part of that, I'm sure.
Oh, it really made me feel like I was giving voice to those
Oh,
miners.
for sure. Yeah. What, 200 years later? I don't even, my math is terrible, but yeah. Wow. That is a beautiful story. Now, are you still connected with them? Is that recreation like happening again, or that was just a one-time thing?
As far as I know, it was just a one-time
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Um, we did put it, we wanted to put on the play down at Ludlow itself, but it was really cold and rainy, and a lot
Oh.
of members of the troupe weren't able to make it.
Mm,
Um, we did do it in front of some at the AFL-CIO headquarters.
wow.
They were having a recognition dinner of 3 union members. So they was really crowded with all these tables and chairs in this room. And unfortunately, we couldn't have a picture of the pit or the music.
Mm, no.
So I would walk around and everybody would have to pull in their chairs. And I would say, well,
No.
they're looking for like the 8-hour workday. They wanted to be paid in money.
Mm-hmm.
I did the whole thing, brought them to the pit. And then um, I said, well, I'm Mary Elaine Petrucci. I just portrayed my grandmother, Mary Petrucci. I said, I'm really proud that they stood up to Rockefeller, the governor of
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, that brings security in the Colorado militia. And they all stood up.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. Because I followed two other troop members who gave wonderful performances, and I was, I guess, awed. I
I
was just,
bet. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was
I'm
amazing.
it's affecting me and I wasn't even there. Wow, what a beautiful experience for everybody. Everybody
Definitely.
involved. Wow.
Well, it's so important
Ooh.
because we forget that we forget about the miners and the people who went on strike early on because they really gave birth to the middle class.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, it would just be a country of the rich and the poor.
Mm-hmm. Which
So,
it is in other countries, other places, from my understanding. There
mhm,
is that disparity and nothing in between. Um, wow, yeah, there a lot of I've been exposed to a lot of history in the last year or two, and yeah, miners,
mhm,
railroad workers that built the railroad, and immigrants. Like, I just so honor them. They went through a lot to help us get to where we are today, and we don't want to be dismissive of that, but it's not something that's emphasized in our textbooks, in school that I know of. I was not exposed to that growing up, I guess I shall say. I don't know what it's like now, but
well, it's an adjunct part of fourth grade Colorado history. Um, and a lot of a lot of teachers don't teach it
mhm.
because it would probably require them changing like couple lesson plans
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in order for people to, or the students to understand more about Colorado history.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bit disconcerting for me, because people don't realize that we have like all of these conveniences and amenities that we don't stop and think about
Yeah.
how we got them.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Um, Whew, yeah. And we have to explore and learn about that on our own. So I'm going to invite anyone listening and watching this, when you get the chance to really dig into some of those historical, especially local, even if it's not local, just dig into it, because you really get a new appreciation for those ancestors, those people who came before us, and what we have now. Like I said, my heart is just full of gratitude when I have that awareness and understanding that, somebody did this, and then they had to do this, and they sacrificed this, and it's just a huge gratitude practice for me to really hear
Mm.
about that, and honor and respect those who helped me get here, helped us get here to this point in time. So, whew. But we have to explore that on our own, though. We're not getting that from from schools, or from the normal routes, I guess I could say. I don't know, but
Mm.
whew, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention, Mary Ellen. How can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me by going to my website, which is Phoenix Rising Life Institute,
Mhm.
or they can contact me by sending me an email at mpetrucci at gmail, 2002 at gmail.com. I'd
And
love
we
to.
will, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were done. But yeah, we'll have that in the description with this video. So people will be able to click on that information and get right over to you. But I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. And I want to thank you for what you're doing out there in the world. And I love the name of your academy, your Rising, I want to make sure Institute, I'm sorry, your Phoenix Rising Life Institute. That's
Yes.
so empowering. A phoenix coming out of that loss and those
Yes.
ashes to be something beautiful and a new identity. Ooh, that's a beautiful image. So, what an exciting thing to be in charge of, to be have founded.
Well, thank you. I look forward to serving all the people in your audience. I'm only here to be a guide, and would look forward to helping you achieve the life that you truly desire.
Thank you so much, Mary Elaine. We so appreciate you and honor you. And thank you, everybody, for listening into this episode. If you feel that this has been something that you have enjoyed, and you think somebody else in your life would enjoy this, please share this episode with them. Share Mary Ellen's contact information, and spread the word. And subscribe to my channel while you're there as well. Okay, my friends, thank you so much. Mary Ellen,
Thank
thank you so much. Mwah. We will see everybody the next time.
thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.